or failure, but not a single excuse. It's time for us to highlight all we achieved in the past academic year, award all the achievers for their efforts and dedication, and see how far we have come, crossing what we thought were insurmountable hurdles. With this, may I now call upon stage our dearly cherished leader and director, Dr. Jyoti Chandiramani. She's also the Dean of the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences, and it is our honor and pleasure as usual when she addresses us at these moments. Thank you so much. I want to be.
Thank you, Ishita, and a very, very good afternoon to one and all, to our dearest chief guest who has come all the way from Kolkata, Sohini Roy Chaudhary. More about her you're going to hear, but we've read so much about her through her link page, web page. I'm just waiting for the, is a hand, am I getting a collar mic? Shilpi? Okay. Am I getting the collar mic? Yes, ma'am. Okay. All right. Okay. So as Ishita has turned around and told you that this is the first time we are having it in the offline mode after 2 years after COVID, but COVID tends to have a lagged effect. So what should have ideally been in May 2022 is happening right now in November 2022. There's a famous saying, Der aaye, par durust aaye. You know, of course, we have been at it each year with acknowledging the work of our students, of our teachers, putting on our drawing board whatever we have done for these years. I mean, for 1 year, and of course, understanding where we faltered and where we went right and moving along. So going forward, I'm just waiting for my PPT to come in. Okay, I just thought that, this kind of constrains me, and I have requested Janardhan or Shilpi to change the slides for me. So economists of tomorrow are made here. We feel that each one of you is not just an economist, but is also a social scientist. In fact, I was just sharing with our chief guest as to how we sensitize you on various issues, and we hope that each one of you are probably, the faculty and the students are embedding the sustainable development goals, the 5 Ps that we talk about: people, prosperity, peace, partnerships and, poverty, and all the things that go with it to ensure that the world tomorrow is going to be a better one. We are hoping that you're going to be the great foot soldiers of the country, where you're going to take with you your learnings and be there to make change for others. So we say economists who are going to be great social change makers. From here, we have had almost, when you look at it, from the online to the offline and again back to the offline, suddenly Symbiosis School of Economics looks crowded. We've had the BSc Economics since 2008, which is now an honors program. And we are soon going to look at, and we are exploring, in fact, we are on a committee to turn the 3-year program into the 4-year program according to the National Education Policy. MSc was started in Symbiosis School of Economics in 2011, and you all know that we already have quite a few such um, specializations, all right? And those specializations include trade, development studies, and then we introduced urban development, the first such program in the country in 2016. Symbiosis School of Economics being the only school of economics to offer urban development. And I know Ravikanji tried to convince me here to start an MBA in urban development, because MBA seems to be the fashion word and everybody looks at it from that point of view. But we said, no, let's look at it from the academics, because as a school of economics, we could not be offering a management program. So that didn't happen, but then we said, whatever is the outcome, let's go through a different trajectory and come around with it. So we have that. We've also started the MSc with finance, and next year, data science. So looking forward to that. I'm waiting for that number of students to touch 1,000, hopefully more, waiting for the campus to increase a little more. All right. And then we are waiting for the alumni numbers to touch 2,000. So these are little landmarks for us. When you move from 82 students to today, almost we are today on the campus, nearly 800 students. But to get that 1,000 students is going to be a very big aspect, because at the School of Economics, we don't only have the BSc and MSc, but we also have the PhD, a very integrated, UG, PG, and a PhD program. The faculty, I think, are the best foot soldiers that we have around here. They go to the classroom and they are, as I call them, one-act players, where through that 1 hour discussion or 2 hour discussion, they impress upon you and influence you with the curriculum, with the other contemporary issues, the theoretical framework and the application, that whenever I can do a roulette and come back to any random student and can say, really, they have done a great job as they have moved on. So faculty, experts, support staff, all of them have taken this institution to new heights. We follow the RPI model. I'm sure all of you here are aware of the RPI model: academics, research, and then we talk about placements, internationalization, and enhanced engagement. Okay, moving further, to take care of each of these vectors that we have, or pillars of an institution building, you need people who are at the helm of affairs. And there are layers of leadership at the Symbiosis School of Economics. I mean, Ishita has actually has curated the MSc program with me right from the day one. So MSc, she's also the program in charge, the academics in charge of the Symbiosis School of Economics. Niharika has been with the UG program. Before Niharika, it was Roysa who was handling it to a large extent. And now I can see so many of you getting involved with this. We follow this particular framework. Students, you remember, you come to the open house, you meet us randomly and say, why doesn't journalism come into the 4th semester? We have too much to write in the 5th semester, So many such little ideas that are there are then actually put into the Google Doc, put a timeline, see whether it can be explored, not. So all stakeholders' views are taken into account to create an ever-evolving academic framework. Recently, we had a company which said, can your students do Japanese? We'd like to take them. And so that kind of a document went out to the students, an emailer, and then there have been people who have actually given their interest in this regard. And we hope that we will have students who graduate from SSE along with a degree in Japanese, so that they could work with a particular company. And you know how skilling is. You don't just have to have it in one. See, with Soini ma'am, it's even her economics, it's her dance and various other forms. So with us, it's economics, it's a language, and any other form that you want to add to it that's going to take you to the next level. Academics has the examination department, and in 2021-22, it was very, very ably taken care of by Dr. Deepa Gupta, who's not here today. She's gone on a mission to Delhi to meet the Ministry of External Affairs, because we are going to be one of the institutions selected by Ministry of External Affairs to promote G20 agenda of India, where India is today poised. going to be the host for G20 for 1 year. And so we are going to be the representatives, one out of the 76 universities, and she's gone for that kind of a program today. Dr. Ranjan Dash, who's again not here because he's busy handling examinations elsewhere, but they have taken care of the examination department very seamlessly, catering to all the requirements of a well turned out ethical examination system filled with innovations, of course, ideas coming from everybody, and ensuring that the learning outcomes at SSE are truly desirable. Along with the academics and the examination, we always keep adding and plus and the plus marks to see how we can give more. Ye dil mange more, right? And then sometimes you feel, what the hell? So there are these value-added courses. And so the value-added courses, whether it is in helping you in your data analytics with the maths and the stats, whether it is behavioral analysis, large number of Coursera courses, especially for, I think the present SY has been a beneficiary of the, SY BSc has been a beneficiary of the Coursera courses for 2 years, and we keep adding things to it, whether it is ethics, whether it is entrepreneurship, whether it is social entrepreneurship. We keep adding value to whatever the students want and whatever we feel is going to make them truly better, engaged resource persons to create better human development for India. And then we come to the research aspect, and research aspect has been strengthened by Dr. Sudeepa, joining hands with Dr. Ranjan Dash to ensure that we have better research outcomes. We are not stuck anywhere. Both of them help us out in difficult times. They are mentoring students, they are mentoring faculty to ensure that the research outcomes are enhanced. And so what are our research outcomes? Okay, so research outcomes can come under these various vectors, and of course goes beyond that. I've already talked about those specializations, but it was a good year, a year in which we submitted successfully the Sustainable Development Goals for Maharashtra 2030, the achievement and constraints for 32 districts in Maharashtra. And I think, as I keep saying, Maharashtra is as big a state as Brazil, and therefore we've done it for a huge country. And if we can do it for Maharashtra, I think we can do it for all 740 districts in the country. And the framework has been vetted. We went to NABARD, we made presentations to all the district development managers, and I think our credibility is definitely on the rise with the kind of work we're doing. NABARD has been a truly great mentor for us since 2016. And this year, not only did we complete a project, but we got 2 more such projects. One was with respect to the self-help groups, and the other was with respect to MSMEs. Self-help groups was mapped to large number of SDG goals, and it was in 3 states of Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, as well as Bihar. And now with the MSMEs, it's going to be Maharashtra. They've already finished their work in Rajasthan, and they're going to go to West Bengal. And of course, as economists, all of us know how data can be a big issue for all of us. Without data, we just can't function. So that's the way it is. We've had 14 research scopus papers from single numbers. Last year, we moved to double. And I'm sure, it may look meager, and 14 may look like a small number, but they are good papers and quality papers, and I'm sure we will go better as time goes on. SSE has also received a number of minor research projects and major research projects from the university. So the Symbiosis Center for Urban Studies, which has just got set up, a baby of SSE under our research, what would you say? A subsidiary that has got nurtured out here to take urban development from here onwards to 2047, hopefully. We've got governance and livability of census towns in Pune district, and that is almost 19 census towns. Then there is a nexus of COVID-19 pandemic and menstruation. This is a student-related project. digital transformation and virtual reality technology adaptation for sustaining agriculture. That's another one. Performance of farmer producers is another one. So some of them are for 1.5 lakhs. The one which is for governance and livability is for 10 lakhs. And then along with that, our faculty have also been a part of FDPs. We have gone to other institutions and have guided them as to how to write research projects, consultancy projects. We've also conducted large number of such FTPs for our own faculty, be it by Dr. Mansi Phadke or by Dr. Sudeepa and Dr. Ranjan for journal publications, so that the outcomes are better realized. What was really a great year for us this year was when we had on 31st of January an MOU signed between SIU, NIUA, and it was SSE who was really the brainchild of it all. And that led to creation of Symbiosis Center for Urban Studies. So I think it's not a very visual document, but it's deeply embedded with a lot of hard work that has gone far beyond just one page. Moving further, you know, the RPI model, as I said, is academics and research, and then you come to placement. Students come here, not to be placed in corporates or think tanks, but to be placed as citizens in society. And that's where we feel that citizenry is absolutely important. I think the ethical citizen, we keep thinking that even if you fail, there's no big deal about it, but ethics has to be at the top of it. And so the placement cell creates a large number of workshops, right from CV writing to how to face, what would we say, interviews, group discussions, and it goes on, aptitude tests, mock interviews, business etiquettes, alumni interactions. In fact, today was a scheduled alumni meet with Apurva, but it had to be called off because the rush at Delhi airport didn't allow her to take the flight to come in today. So the economy, at least at the airports, is picking up, but we don't know about it on other fronts. We have to look at it holistically. And you can see the statistics are only inching upwards. Highest package has gone up, average package has also gone up, and the number of companies visiting us has gone up. So not only are students here given a great academic module, but they are given good education to be placed as good citizens, as well as become great employable resource persons. And the recruiters are there, right from DE Shaw to Trivesta to PwC to Accenture, who had come to us with the Japanese course as they talked about it, ZS Associates, and we have some of our own entrepreneurs who now take students from us because they are also working on data analysis. Then we have internationalization. And so for student exchange, this is something that's done by Khushbu. Yes, less number of students went this year for international exchange. We generally have it in double digits, but because of the pandemic, people felt that we were not too open to go. So we just had 4 students who went in. But what was very good was, if you can see Bristol University over there, our students reached Bristol University for doing a master's program. And when Bristol University saw our students there, they were very happy, and they decided they wanted an MOU with SSE. And we said, no, the MOU just can't be with SSE. It has to be with SIU, with the Symbiosis International University. And so it's our students. So students, you're ambassadors to the future, and you're ambassadors to how you're going to carry the name of not only a university, but of Symbiosis School of Economics. And along with that, in the internationalization, we had Dr. Berg, who talked from Bristol University. He gave a master's class on macroeconomics. Dr. Madhvi Tandon, who's known for her work in qualitative studies from University of Colorado, she also gave a lecture. I worked myself with UNSCAP and Pune Smart City on the building of urban economic resilience during the COVID time for the Pune city. And we looked at the framework that UNSCAP had looked at it all over the world. Dr. Sudeepa has had her paper in an international conference. And then we've had a consultancy project also come with UNS South-South cooperation. So you can see that it's working on. KK Roy was invited to come and present a paper. And that was something, the invitation came in May last year. And so I'm again going to be repeating this next year because it got realized in the academic year 2022-23. But these associations just keep moving on. Dr. Ishita, I think now we are going to have to see articles written by Dr. Ishita on UNCTAD, G20, trade and policy, non-tariff. So she's worked on all this to show that internationalization in curriculum in terms of benchmarking has taken place. Dr. Ashlesha has had a consultancy project which has been completed with Syntonic, and Dr. Khushbu has given a guest lecture with University of Bath for qualitative methods. A workshop was created. So now from our pie, from the internationalization, we come down to the E, and enhanced engagement. This is an engagement at this point. It looks like a one-way dialogue because I'm giving my report, but I'm sure it's going to move into a two-way dialogue as we move on. But you can see the engagement with Niti Aayog, the think tank of the country, with NABARD, with NIUA, with UNDP, with Asia Europe Foundation, and many more at the local level also, be it Swachh, be it Janavani, be it MCCIA, be it our own next door institution, that is Gokhale. What a wonderful correlation we have. Our students go there for masters, their master students and PhD students come back to teach at SSE. So I think I see the lovely forward-backward integration that happens out here and look forward to much more engagement with Gokhale Institute. Student diversity coming from almost 3 to 4 continents out of the large number of continents and 193 countries that we have, coming in from Africa, from Europe, from Asia, and of course the pan-India presence where students probably coming from over 600 districts in the country. The gender ratio has always been favorable. What's wonderful is the diversity, the equity that we have at our school, where I think everybody is so inclusive about gender and do not really make any such kind of discrimination that we don't even need to sensitize students. They're so well sensitized about it that I think it's wonderful. And then the students over the period have their clubs and co-curricular activities. And what do they do? All right. So what we did was, over the last few years, we felt that there would be a need to curate some programs which could help SSE brand themselves. So we are going to have the 9th Professor Suresh Tendulkar Memorial Lecture, which will be delivered in the month of February 2023. The 5th in the series of Economists of the Year was just concluded this year, and therefore the 6th will happen. And I can see Niharika because I just had a telephonic conversation with her asking, is it the 5th or the 6th? But let me tell you, this was an idea which we thought of in 2014, and it got, it actually took off only in 2017 when people were willing to take the load of the work that it entails to have a competition, which has now become not only pan-India, but through the online mode, it's become pan-world, it's gone all over. So entrepreneurship cell, hoping that more social entrepreneurships will happen out here, 12 clubs and activities, ISR activities, creating institution, creating awareness, creating sensitization, all this is happening. The stalwarts who came for the Suresh Tendulkar Memorial Lecture, the late Professor Subir Gokarn, Professor Mahendra Dev, and I think today probably we'd have blessings of Professor Tendulkar, because the moment we just write to people that we want to invite you for his lecture, for a memorial lecture, we realize that people are ever so willing to come. Bibek Debroy said, if it is a memorial lecture, I'm on. And he came in immediately and we had him with us. So we've had great stalwarts come here. the Economist of the Year, the 5th in the series, and the 6th. So please, everybody, gear up for the 6th Economist of the Year, because you have to send a message out across the world that SSE is a great place to nurture great ideas, and you can do it with a difference. We have the faculty in charge of ISR, Niharika, who's also the program in charge of the BSc program. The ISR initiatives at SSE, I think they have a lot to speak about: inclusion, environment, health, all the aspects that you expect are all there. The welfare measures that we look at. And then it looks like fun, right? This slide shows you all the action from EOTY to the, I mean, recently you had the Dandiya, but we are going back to last year. Even in the online mode, I think there was so much that was happening, which was wonderful. The tree plantation, the Jeevit Nadi river cleaning exercise, and then we come down to students' achievements. Of course, achievements, this whole evening from here onwards, after Sohini ma'am's address to all of you, is going to be giving the achievements of our students for the academic year. Siddharth Deshpande, chess championship. Girish Sharma, and look at, if you start underlining the universities, wow. Girish Sharma is with Ashoka University, where he won the second prize for the undergraduate paper presentation. Then we have the annual undergraduate paper presentation at Miranda House, Delhi. Shaurya Gupta also did well and won at the Birla Institute. You have Rajvi and Khushi again with Miranda House. You have Arushi and Khushi again at IIT Delhi, but the Khushi in the first sentence and the Khushi in the second one is different. So Khushi Somani and Khushi Sisodia. And we have Dimant, Amay, Divya, and Dr. Suchi ma'am, who presented a paper at the SIMSAR competition, at the conference, and they got the best paper award over there. And our faculty, I may just have put the two, real stalwarts out here in terms of their achievements, but I have to say each one has brought a lot to the table. And of course, Dr. Kalyan Shankar getting a fellowship and going to the University of Oxford at Wolfson's College. And then we have Dr. Ranjan Das, whose paper is now a World Bank working paper, and he's working on his next one. We have great plans. The plans are highlighted out here. Plans for enhancing quality, plans for making education affordable, plans to see how all this, which is available only to 750 plus students, goes out further through the diploma in quantitative economics, all right? Then we are planning to commence with the MSc Data Science, as I said, next year, that is in 2023. And we are hoping to start maybe with the 4-year program. It may even happen in 2023, not too sure, but 2024 for sure. And then capacity building of our teachers, so that when you open a Hindu or a Mint or an EPW, I think all of them would love to see their names in print in these particular papers, to improve research output, which will enhance visibility of SSE, and to be known as a leading school in the country. And I have penned these thoughts for you, that abhi to chalu hone wala hai hamara next phase, because we were only building the foundation. The work is only going to start now. We were just the brick and mortar people who were here. And therefore, the seeds were sown in 2008, but we hope that we have reached the point of inflection with SSE moving on its forward and onward trajectory, with a committed endeavor to leave its footprints on the sands of time. I hope each one of you have animal spirit. I was just hearing Nissim Taleb, and I don't want you to take it wrong, because very often I'm misunderstood, but he says, just forget about resilience. Here Nissim Taleb, who has written about, he's written great books, Fooled by Randomness and The Black Swan. And he says, resilience needs to go, risk-taking needs to go up, and therefore the animal spirits are alive. be it with new courses, programs, student progression, research outcomes, etc., so that we can reach our path of success. And surely, this success that we have achieved can only happen with a team. You all are watching the T20 these days. At least I do enjoy watching it. And I know that you need a great wicket keeper, and you need a great batsman, and you need a great hitter, and you need great runners between the pitch. And if it were not, if this was not there, would we reach where we have reached today? So I think it is Team SSE which really shines. So I'd like you all to give them a big hand. Thank you. It's not as loud as it should have been. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And this is the team SSE that we have. And as we say, quality is never an accident. It is always the result of intention, the power of intention, as we talk about, sincere effort, intelligent direction, skillful execution. It represents the wise choice of many alternatives. Beautifully written by William Foster, and the journey continues. Thank you so much for your patience.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is our honor and pleasure to have with us today Shohini Roy Chaudhary. Shohini is a renowned Bharatnatyam dancer, a choreographer, a dance therapist, professor at Natya Shastra, and the list goes on. She is the founder of Sohini Moksha World Dance and Communications, which was founded by her in Madrid and then expanded around the world to Germany, to USA, to India. I will tell you a little bit about Sohini Moksha. This is her multinational dance troupe, which recreates Indian mythology through classical Indian temple dance. The troupe consists of dancers from all over the world, as you can see over here. It includes dancers from Europe, from Latin America, USA, the Middle East, and India. She fuses Bharatnatyam with flamenco, ballet, folk dances, modern dances, combining Indian classical with world music. Their performances include dance themes about the Hindu gods, about Vedic philosophy, fables across the world, and also about universal themes such as nature conservation, women empowerment, and celebrations of life. Shohini sees the empowerment of women as an essential tenet of the concept of Shakti. And to that end, she dedicates a significant portion of her work to the marginalized sections of the society. We see here that Shohini works a lot with street children, with women from red light areas, inmates of jails, shelter homes, blind children, women of refugee camps, and so on. From early on in her career, Shohini has been actively involved in spreading her art to children around the world. She runs projects and programs which involve Indian dance with a variety of messages and storytelling. We can see her conducting workshops in Austria, Germany, and Italy. She was conferred the Mahatma Gandhi Pravasi Samman by the House of Lords at the British Parliament in 2013.
She has been a European brand ambassador for India Tourism's Incredible India campaign. In 2015, she won the Priyadarshini Award for Outstanding Achievement in Arts. And in 2019, she won the Exceptional Woman of Excellence Award. Shohini's appearances and performances around the world will surely make us extremely proud. And also at the same time, it will also make us jealous and very envious. We see her here with Danny Boyle at the premiere of Slumdog Millionaire, with Anil Kapoor during the International Indian Film Academy Awards, with Sheikh Nayan in Abu Dhabi, and finally with none other than Hrithik Roshan. And here we see her at the 26th Conference of the Parties in Glasgow, which was the global climate change conference organized by the United Nations, the COP26, and also the Consulate General of India in Scotland. And the handsome man you see accompanying her on the acoustic guitar is her son, Rishi. Incidentally, Rishi just completed his master's in economics from St. Andrews University. So we have another connect there with economics all the way. Shohini studied economics too as well. Shohini's passion goes on. She has penned down her books, The Dancing with the Gods, and most recent work is called Indian Stage Stories. A very warm welcome to you, Shohini. And I now invite Professor Jyoti Chandiramani to felicitate our chief guest. And now is the moment that we have all been waiting for. The stage is all yours. Shohini.
I am woman, watch me grow. See me standing toe to toe as I spread my loving arms across the land. But I'm still an embryo with a long, long way to go until I'll make my brother understand. Oh, yes, I am wise, but it's wisdom born of pain. Yes, I've paid the price, but look how much I gain. If I have to, I can face anything. I am strong, I am invincible, I am woman, I am woman.
Thank you for having me here. I think you can all hear me at the back. We are Bengalis, so we speak very loudly, I guess. So, this was our expression of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which you just saw. And I'm Shohini Roy Chaudhary. I am a performer, but I like to think of myself as a happy roadie on the journey of empathy and humanism. And as you're all economists of tomorrow and you germinate and create wellness in the world, I would like to start this by quoting Lord Jeremy Bentham, that any action, whether it's right or wrong, is decided by the amount of happiness it creates and for all. The greater happiness for the greater number. That is the measure of an activity. That said, empathy has been the core of my work. And empathy here, as you saw, I work with people from 14 different countries. And when I went to Spain a long time ago, I worked with, and South America and Russia, I worked with people there, the locals. I've never worked with particularly the Indian diaspora. I've always wanted to work for the people around, the local ones, because that is how I think spreads the real message, as you said, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which is what is very close to my heart, that this is our home, the world is home to all, and has been the very germ, the kernel of all my work. And while we are at it, empathy, compassion, and create emotional intelligence, which makes all activities productive. And my dance is a testimony to that. My dance is an expression of that empathy, because my father, the late Sitar Master Shubroto Roy Chaudhary. He always told us, we learned even when we were 3 or 4 years old, whatever we were talking about, whoever we were talking about, he would say, is he or she kind? Is there empathy? Is there kindness? Because without those two, there's nothing at all. It's just an empty shell. Whether it's economics, whether it's economic theory, whether it's dance, whether it's painting, whether it's politics. I wish, hope, and dream that politicians also would bring empathy into their lives and their work. That would really make the world a better place. I would like to give you some anecdotes of my life, my work. For example, there was this particular girl who came to learn from me. She was only 16 years old, and she was from Iraq. So she came to one of my workshops and said, I have to learn from you. But there's a problem. I'm 16 years old, and in my household, dance is banned because I'm from Iraq. So I have been telling my folks at home that I'm coming to you for English tuition. And that is how she would come regularly. And when she performed on stage, we wear the alta, you know, the red paint on our feet when we dance. So she would do the same, and then would go home with stockings on and say, I had an extra long tutorial today, so I was late. So that was Farah Daud. Then she performed at a concert with me. I took her on stage for Bolly Madrid, and her picture appeared with all of us in the newspapers, and she faced a lot of drama in her house. And her mother, who actually wears the hijab and is a conservative Iraqi but a fantastic cook, her mother told her, you've become a prostitute. What is this? You're dancing on stage. She said, yes, there were like 5,000 people in the audience. So if that is what you think, so be it. And she continued on, and now she's a Bharatanatyam performer, probably the only Iraqi person in the world who dances to Shiva Speaks and Shiva Stotrams. And you saw her in this video also. And Farah Daud last week was in Calcutta. She came 6 days just to see me and learn a new dance piece, and she performed at 2 of my seminars. So these are our love stories, and this is how love stories should be around the world with all of us. And this also will cause a lot of trolling, because there are a lot of people who write nasty things and say she's from Iraq, she shouldn't be dancing Shiva Stotram and this and that and the other. And people have told me that why should people from other countries, foreigners as they call them, why should they be dancing Bharatanatyam? Our children, Indian children, should excel at that because it's in their DNA and this and that. And my only answer to that is, I believe it's passion which urges you forward. You could be born to Indian parents, Bengali parents, for example, there's Tagore at home, always. But there are a lot of children who are not interested in learning Tagore songs. They would love the philosophy of Tagore. So if somebody from America chooses to research on it, let them. You know, you shouldn't feel entitled yet uninterested. And it's about passion. So I always tell, there was this particular person who was almost heckling me, and a bureaucrat on stage saying that our Indian children do it better, and what they do is a diluted form, which is, I think, rubbish. Because we have we have Sharon Lowen, and we have other artists who are Americans or French or Russian, and they have been recognized by the ICCR and our Ministry of Culture, and they've set up homes in Delhi. So I think our Vedas, our culture, and the way we are very inclusive and open-minded. I have always said in such seminars, when people heckle me about it, that maybe you're an ambassador of a country and there's a mosquito buzzing around you that bites you. Mosquito has your pure bloodline. According to Darwin, that doesn't mean the mosquito becomes a bureaucrat or a diplomat or an ambassador. So I completely go against that theory of genes or blood telling you who you want to be or what you want to be. And our agrarian structure in economics also probably shows that a farmer's son cannot always be a farmer, a doctor's son cannot be a doctor. That brings down productivity and economic activities. I'm a Neanderthal, I don't know much about economics like all of you. You've got such glorious CVs. So this is what I wanted to share, these little anecdotes. And I think mental wellness issue is a very big issue, especially after the COVID. That's why 2 of my productions that you saw were done during COVID times, to bring about happiness and keep art, you know, flying high. So, 2 of the videos that you saw were shot by my students in Iraq, Spain, Bulgaria, America, and South America, in their homes, in their gardens, and we had put this together for your New York newspaper. So, it was a glimpse of happiness in times of COVID, where as your insides are so strengthened with the art that nothing really brings you down. And as Jyoti ma'am perfectly said, that you don't need to be resilient. I think that's what I understood. I think we have to be vulnerable because it's human to be vulnerable. And if you're not human, where will economics go? If there's no humanity, you cannot have economics for the mountains and the rivers. Humanity had not only to survive, but to live. Survival ends and living begins with this degree of vulnerability, which brings about more humility and empathy and fellow feeling towards all, which creates more inclusivity, and somehow that brings about much more productivity, because if a person feels wanted, recognized, included, and happy, that person can be far more productive mentally and physically, and that helps bring up your economic figures. This one more thing that I've always noticed is one phrase which I found particularly evil and very idiotic is cultural appropriation. I have seen this in Britain. There was this very good, skilled ballet dancer who said, Shohini, I would love to wear a sari. So I said, I'll get you a blue color. Which one would you like? She says, no, but I'm scared people would say it's cultural appropriation. If an Indian person wants to learn Japanese and even do a research, become a Japanese professor of Japanese language, or write poetry in Japanese, or master Kabuki theater. Similarly, if a French, Bulgarian, or an Iraqi masters Bharatanatyam or one of our Indian art forms, that should certainly be not cultural appropriation or the evil that it entails. It is about the world being one and art without frontiers. These are little anecdotes from my life which I wanted to share with you, and I'm going to tell you how Shohini Moksha happened, because I'm Shohini Roy Chaudhary. My multinational troupe is called Shohini Moksha, and what we do on stage is world dance and communication. I trained in Bharatanatyam, and I was a regular Bharatanatyam dancer. And I had done many performances in India with the ministry and in Germany, Austria, quite a few countries. And when I was about 28, I went to Spain. And Spain was somehow cut off from the world. They don't speak English, they just speak Spanish, which also means it's kind of insular. They're not aware of what's happening in the world. So they had no clue to what Bharatanatyam was. Neither they had a clue that I was kind of a professional dancer with some credibility, some kind of being worthwhile. So one had to start from scratch again. And in a lot of places, as you will also see, the more ignorant people are, the more disrespectful they are. And I was doing my usual varnams and shabdams and tilanas as the Bharatanatyam repertoire goes, and I was very happy with it. And then there was this Ministry of Foreign Affairs person. He was a director, so not like somebody who you expect to be educated. And in Casa Asia, they had invited me to talk about a possible concert that they were hosting open air and in a very big festival. And he saw me and he said, okay, you're Indian, but what you do, Bharatanatyam, is very boring. I don't want to see people will go off to sleep. They will not understand the language. And I found that very disrespectful. But what he said next was a life-changing experience for me. He told me, we love Bollywood. Everybody loves Bollywood. And sorry, the Bollywood actors, they open their shirt and throw it to the audience. And middle-aged women love it. So would you be able to do the same thing? The Spanish will love it. And I went with my Bengali morals, my Indian sense of dignity, and my eyes were watering, my face and ears had gone red. I just walked out, I muttered something and walked out. And I went home. For 3 days, I was completely depressed, and I told my husband that I'll hang up my ghungroos here. This is not where I want to ever dance again. Let's forget about this. I will practice by myself. I'll never dance in Spain. And I was crying and I was very upset and all that. But in those 3 days that I was very upset, I was listening to Tchaikovsky in a loop, a particular piece in a loop, continuously, continuously, continuously. And after 3 days, somehow I started dancing for myself with that piece of Tchaikovsky, but a very dynamic Bharatanatyam Tilana, which I had composed in that time. And I think this came from a lot of rage, a lot of despair, and a lot of sadness. But somehow Shohini Moksha fusion world dance was born because we were doing Bharatanatyam to Tchaikovsky. I had about 8 students at that time. Next day they came, I said, learn this up. We are going to do this. This is the next choreography. And sure enough, in 11 days, there was this world film festival, and they asked us to inaugurate it with a performance. And I said, this is what we are going to do. And they loved it. And that was the moment we never looked back, because for the jazz festivals, for the festivals, film festivals, which were not related in any way to India, we were invited to perform. And we were chosen over the jazz groups, the hard rock groups, and all that. And we didn't have to dance for the Indian diaspora or a remote Diwali function. And we had been able to cut off all ties with India exotica and India idiotica. So I wanted to say that this experience of rage and despair was where we were reborn like the phoenix. And all of us, I think we need to be in that complete darkness sometime to get into complete light and rebuild ourselves where there can be no more bringing down. You can just put on your seatbelts and fasten them and fly high. Because this is something I want to share with you, because a lot of people ask me, how was Shohini Moksha born? So that is our love story. That is what Shohini Moksha is all about. And my favorite subject somehow is Shaktism. A lot of my productions deal with Durga and the mother goddesses, but with a bit of a difference. Whereas in the Markandeya Puranas, Durga kills Mahisasura, but in my production, we are anti-violence. So we show that the quality of mercy, as Shakespeare had said, or Allah hi Rahem, Maula hi Rahem, where mercy is practiced and Mahisasura is brought to order, begs for forgiveness, and is forgiven. So that is how we have changed mythology according to our emotional needs and what we felt were the needs of the current scenario of the world. So that is what Shohini Moksha is all about. And that is what is our language of empathy. And the core mantra is always Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Thank you very much. I would love to answer your questions if you have any.
One, where's the student? Samriddhi? Come, Logeshwar. Students, if you have anything to comment or ask Shohini ma'am, this is your chance to talk to her.
Hi, ma'am. Good afternoon. My name is Freya, and my question to you is you said something about changing mythology according to the emotions that you felt at a time. So, my question to you is the Indian diaspora is usually very touchy and very sentimental when it comes to interpretations of mythology and gods and goddesses. And so, did you receive any backlash when you were performing? And how did you deal with it, considering the fact that you're a woman? So
Yes, I love your question, and I would say we faced a lot of backlash, Shreya. But what we were saying is, if you're looking purely at science, mythology, as we know it, our mythology, it was Gurumukhi Vidya. At that time, there was no printing. Printing happened from the Baroque times. By then, most of our mythology had already been compiled. So it was like somewhat like a Chinese whispers. I tell you, you tell your friend tells her sister. So that way, we believe what we like to believe. 100%, unless it's written down and documented, we cannot say 100% is authentic. The structure is authentic, the aura, the feeling is authentic. And I changed where I found it resonating with the teachings of our Vedas and our Puranas. Because forgiveness, our nation, our scriptures have always been about non-violence. It's always been about forgiving. India in history did not go conquering any other country. They were happy within themselves. So I thought it was important to bring out this aspect of non-violence, which is, in the broader sense, it fits in with our aura, with our sacred texts. People said, people would say something or the other. As I always believe, there are 7 billion people in the world, and Michael Jackson or Pandit Ravi Shankar also had their detractors. As you know, in your family or your extended family, whenever you want to do something, I'm sure there would be 5 people supporting you and 3 people going against. And a lot of time when people go against your choices, they're not rational about it also. So what you do is ignore them. So I did the same, and I continue to ignore people who get toxic or who are not on our side, because essentially we have to listen to our inner voice, and we have to follow our dreams and what we believe in. We cannot play to the gallery, then it's not real. Any other questions, please? Whatever you want to ask. Yes. Hmm. 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 Well, empathy creates to emotional intelligence. Empathy, compassion, and the feeling of that we are all one, these 3 things contribute and create emotional intelligence. And without emotional intelligence, I think we are empty. And it, because we are dealing with people, we are dealing with human beings, you're not dealing with robots. So at any stage of your life, even an IIT topper who gets a top-notch job that is spoken about, if he doesn't have emotional intelligence, how would he deal with people senior to him and more important than people reporting to him? That empathy is needed, I feel, to strengthen bonds and create that feeling of trust, that feeling of comfort, which helps everybody grow together. That's my take on it. Thank you.
Namaskar, ma'am. I'm Amrita Bhattacharya and I'm from my second year of Masters. Welcome to our lovely university and School of Economics. So I have a very personal question that can also transcend and resonate with many. So the urge and passion and the willingness to express yourself through various art forms, it can be painting, it can be music, it can be dance. Does it have a mental blockage relating to age? Because me, I find I had left music and dance because of my like studies in +2, and I find it very difficult to again take that up. I mean, either accommodating it in my routine or starting it all off again. So is it more like a mental blockage, or does it have something to do with our capacity as we grow old? And the second question, I found that there was written that you also work in the area of dance therapy. So could you please enlighten us on the work of Shohini Moksha in that matter?
I'll do that.
Okay.
First of all, I think passion towards art gets better as you grow older. Because when you're 8 or 9 years old, your parents might be forcing you into that piano class or judo class or dance class, which becomes one of those disciplines happening under pressure. It's not your own choice. But when you're doing it as an adult, with your own money, on your own time, and out of choice, it's far more passionate and intense and real. So, what you're saying basically, I don't think you have a mental block, but you have societal pressures that you would rather do this project in economics than paint or draw or dance, because you think this is more important. But you need to sort that out in your mind if you really want to do it, because it's like reading, isn't it? You read a lot in spite of doing projects. So similarly, you can practice an art that you excel at and you're passionate about. And the second thing, which we are talking about, mental wellness and healing and therapy, I was, these COVID years, I was also working with Narayan Health, doing a 1 hour therapy session every Sunday, which was free for all, because it was our way of giving back to society. I was doing mudra therapy. We have various mudras in Bharatnatyam or other dances also. And each mudra, this is part of the Patanjali yoga, that each mudra has an effect on the body, because all our nerve endings are at our fingertips. So it is wellness at our fingertips. For example, this mudra, you're pressing your index finger to your thumb. This is very good for metabolism, because it's the earth and the air connecting together. And you keep pressing it for about 5 seconds, do it 20 times for 1 week. It really helps your metabolism. Similarly, there are mudras which connect fingertips, done regularly, helps the Anahata Chakra, helps the heart health. Some to build resistance, some that empower the lungs more. So this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about dance therapy on one way, in one scale. And the second is whenever you're doing any art form, it releases happy hormones in the brain. So it helps you battle despair, helps you handle disappointment, depression, if you're feeling depressed at some point of time, because we are all human and vulnerable, as she said. So we do feel up and low at times. Things go wrong, life is not perfect. So that kind of, those happy hormones keep you going. If you practice some kind of fine art, could be cooking. I consider cooking a fine art. Could be cooking, could be painting, could be sculpture, could be dance. And by dance, it could be anything, any movement, rhythm and grace that makes you feel happy. It doesn't have to be a structured classical dance. Maybe you love Bollywood. You put on a Bollywood song and you dance a lot. Dance for 10 minutes every day, close the door and do that. It sets your day. You'll start your day with a very happy footing and a positive footing, which is very necessary. So
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am.
More questions?
Good evening, ma'am. My name is Shakambari, and my question to you is, nowadays dance is some sort of a business idea for people. Even classical dance all around the world, it's no more about explaining or understanding or teaching the Natya Shastra or Abhinaya Darpana, but it's about just getting more students, teaching them for a few months, and then getting them on stage. So what do you have to say to people who follow that practice right now and not to understand the art form better?
See, I cannot judge, but art form, look, each person has their own way. So if a teacher is teaching students and earning well out of it, they also need dignity on the table, because an artist doesn't get a paycheck at the end of the month. There has to be dignity on the table, there has to be payment, and I wish the government would provide more state support to artists, so they do not have to commercialize their art so much. But as I said, all teachers are not like that. There would be some doing it like that. Some would be teaching for passion, but also earning out of it. But artists' connection with income would definitely be different from that of a drug dealer or a builder. That's what I'm trying to say. There is economics involved anyway. So that is there, but for myself, I have never taught a class that had more than 6. because I believe I can be more productive. But there were teachers who were doing Bollywood classes in Spain like a gym with 100, and they were happy doing that, you know. So I think there's space for everybody in the world, but one needs to be true to their art and their passion. That's about it.
Okay, good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Krisha. So, like Bharatnatyam is full of dances about the Ardhanarishwar, or, where Krishna is hiding and a gopi is looking for him, or there are different sorts of tandavs. When you started doing fusion, how did you make sure that the essence of such dances, or the essence of stories of Krishna or stories of Shiva, or his Raudra Roop or his Ananta Roop, it was portrayed well enough when you started doing fusion?
Well, it's the storytelling part of it. Storytelling part of it cannot lose essence. In the sense, I use a lot of Vedic chants. I use a lot of mantras from the Markandeya Puranas and explain. And my preference is I do a lot of Tandav. My genre is Tandav. I do the rigorous Shiva and Durga more. Krishna, I deal with as dealing with nature, sustainability, sustaining the world, Vishnu. So that deeper philosophy can be more brightened more with world music. Because you see, Krishna essentially was the divine shepherd. And the flute that he played was the first musical instrument created out of nature without any smart technology. You can just take a piece of bamboo or a reed and make a flute out of it. It was the same for the Sephardic Jews between the 11th and the 13th century. They were also shepherds and they played the flute and they nurtured nature. So, in a way, the world is connected. If you're talking about Krishna and the Gopikas, it is about the human soul seeking union with the divine. That is the essence and the philosophy. It's not people who do not know, so, oh, okay, he was flirtatious, he was a Casanova, so he had many girlfriends. No. It was the multiple seeking union with the divinity, to be one with the divinity, and that was always eluding them. That was the Vedic philosophy behind it. So I think, and being human all over the world, these philosophies are very relevant for the entire world. So they can relate to it and resonate to it. So whether you do that storytelling with sitar and tabla, or you do it with a piece of Mozart, it's the same. The essence and the philosophy is never lost. In fact, it's brightened up more.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
And the concept of Ardhanarishwar, which you said, Shiva and Parvati merging into one perfect whole, it's the example of how Shiva was the greatest feminist ever. Where it is basically, what is it talking about? It's completely empathizing with each other. In Greek mythology, you have Hermes and Aphrodite. They connected together and hermaphrodite was formed. So our world is connected. We are all thinking and feeling in similar ways, just expressing differently. Yes, of course, sir. Krisha.
Okay. I have training in theater. I have done active theater. Over the years, the performing art forms, that is the dance and the theater, has been the another aspect that is of a resistance to the violence, to the unempathetic world, and all the vices of the world. But there was Habib Tanveer and many people were doing all that. I have seen that theater. We were part of some way that theater, but somewhere, not only in India, but across the world, the kind of fundamentalism is coming in back. The kind of, you said, non-empathetic thing and this. Where you see, I personally feel that in last 10, 15 years, I'm not seeing that kind of a resistance through the dance form or through the performing art forms. How you react to the situation, and does as an artist come to your mind that something has to be done, either your creation or many others, but I'm not seeing that kind of a resistance which used to happen either through the folk theater or through the street theater, or right from the Bertolt Brecht and everybody staging a resistance, a political resistance, resistance against the social vices.
I think this is absolutely relevant. But you see, today, a lot of artists are politicized and they're being funded by the central government, whether it's in India or outside. So they have to toe the line to stay prominent and to get those advantages. But I think as artists, we are all revolutionaries. And you need to speak what is on your mind. And we have to provide that resistance. Definitely, it happens more, I think, outside India. Not that much in India. In the south, recently it happened, but a particular artist was caught and 40 of his concerts were cancelled. And in my little way, you saw my videos in Durga. When Durga, in the Markandeya Puranas, the mantras were playing first, Durga defeats Mahisasura. At that point, I have the Sufi chant, Allah hi Rahem, Maula hi Rahem, which was followed by the Gregorian chants. Now, when I was performing this piece recently, as soon as we had Allah hi Rahem, Maula hi Rahem, 3/4 of the auditorium people got up and left because they thought this is not going to, they didn't like that. You know why. So it didn't fit into their, perspective, and they were going anti because they didn't like a Sufi chant. But we did it and we continued to do it. And my way of thinking is this is our self-expression. This is what we feel. We have to be real to ourselves and our art. And it's a choice. People want to attend and be happy or don't come. So this is my little way of resistance, as you said.
Any more questions? I think we're done with the questions. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. I'm very honored and happy to be with all of you here today. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Sohini ma'am. No better way to motivate and inspire students than through art. And now to all our student heads of the extracurricular clubs, Logeshwaran, Priyal, Vedurya, Lavanya, Adrika, Ishan, Deva, and all the other club heads. You have a chance, don't feel stuck that while reading on studying economics and getting a degrees, you are feeling, sorry. Yeah. So you're not stuck anywhere. You have a live example in front of you. You can go beyond that, take your degree, explore your passion, go beyond. Here onwards, this section, yeah, thank you. From here onwards, this is the section which is most awaited by the students. All, yeah. Start. The awards section of the students. Yeah. We'll first announce the winners of academic excellence for BSc and then for the MSc. Full screen. All right, let's start. The topper for BSc Semester 1. May I please invite Shoini ma'am to please come up and present the award. I'll announce. The topper for BSc Semester 1, Batch 2124 is Kanika Bisht. May I request Kanika to please come up on the stage? We'll move on to the next. She's just coming in a while. So BSc Semester 2 topper for Batch 2124 is Gaurang Farke. Gaurang, can you please come up quickly? Yeah. Congratulations, Gaurang. Semester 3 topper for batch 2023 is our president, Krisha Chandani. Semester 4 topper for batch 2023 is Preksha Jain. Preksha, quick, Preksha, come on. For batch Sem 5, batch 1922, which is passed out, the batch topper was Zarius. Zarius is not here. We'll move on to the next one. For semester 6, the same passed out batch 1922. The topper was, for 6th semester, it was Bhavya Mishra. Bhavya, so good to see you again. Come. For the past batch, that is 1922, the batch topper for BSc is Girish Sharma. Come, Girish. The Amartya Sen of BSc SSE. Come. Best dissertation for BSc goes to two people, Rahul Batra and Ridhiman Ghosh of 1922 batch. I think they're not here. I now invite Ishita ma'am.
For the MSc Academic Awards, batch 2123, Apara Kale, please come up on stage. She has held the first rank in semester 1 and 2. For past
Kanika Bisht is here. So the topper for batch 21-24 Sem 1, Kanika Bisht, may I please call upon stage. Congratulations, Kanika. Now, Nagi ma'am, can you please come?
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm here to announce, my name is Gargi, and I'm here to announce the extracurricular activities awards. And we begin with the BSc first, and then we move on to the MSc. So first up, we have Ashisha Chanda for the Best Academic Writer, batch 2023. From the club Synergy, which is our dance club, ma'am, you'll be happy to know. We have two best dancers awards for this year. We have from the 1922 batch, we have Aishwarya Adipan. Aishwarya, are you here? And from the 2023 batch, we have Shakambari. From the club Epilogue, we have Best Creative Writer in Nitesh Chauhan, 2023 batch. From the club Raga, Best Member Anhat Sharma, 21-24 batch. We have Best Photographer from 21-24 batch, Vaidurya Nath. The Best Debater, Priya Joseph, 2023 batch. Priya, are you here? The best MUNer, Zoya Virani from 21-24 batch. She also heads our sustainability cell this year. Best Social Worker from the club Samarpan, Pratiksha Danekar. Best Performer from the club Street Lights, we have Utkarsh Mishra. Best Entrepreneur from the E-Cell Club, and we need more of them. So Charit Pandey from 21-24. 2024 batch. Then we have Ashita Sachdev, Best Member, Club Miraki. From the Institute Social Responsibility Cell, which is our ISR, we have 3 people. We have Sri Lakshmi, Palvi Thakre, and Nitya Nigam, all from 2023 batch. We now move on to the MSc students and their extracurricular activities. We have Ankit Sehgal, Best Dancer, Club Synergy. 2022 batch, so I'm not sure if he's here. No? Okay, fine. We have Shruti Diwan, Best Creative Writer. 21-23 batch. From the club Raga, we have 2 people. We have Lisa Khurana and Shreyank Shailendra. Lisa Khurana for Best Singer and Shreyank Shailendra for Best Musician. Both from club Raga. Photography Club of MSc, we have Amrit Mishra, 21-23 batch. We have Uznain as the Best Academic Writer, 21-23 batch. batch. Next one for theatre and street play, we have Asmita Ghosh, 21-23 batch. For Kalakriti, we have Sayantani Pal, 21-23 batch. For the book club, we have Purva Kulkarni, 21-23 batch. We have Ananya Acharya for BIC. We have Pradnya Birud for TEDx. For the quiz club, we have Himani Hematraka. She's 2022 batch. Okay. For the WOT club, we have Sakshilata, 21-23 batch. Last one for the MSc, we have Rituja, the placement cell, 2022 batch. I now request Roy sir to please announce the sports awards.
Thank you, Gargi. So it's my privilege to announce the Sports Award for the academic year 21-22. So first I'll go with Football Player of the Year, Kanav Katia. So 1922 batch, Kanav, by any chance with it? Okay. So next is Basketball Player of the Year. First boys category, that is Chirag. Chirag, Kocher. Okay, for girls category, Basketball Player of the Year, Nandini. And next we have Volleyball Player of the Year, Pratyaksh, for boys category. Pratyaksh. For girls, Volleyball Player of the Year, Navya. Here we have Navya. And now we have Best Chess Player, Siddharth Deshpande. Okay. So next we have Table Tennis Player of the Year, Rahul Bhavariya, batch 2023. And we have next Tennis Player of the Year, Rajiv Gupta, from the batch 2023. Okay. So next we have Badminton Player of the Year, boys, Aryan Chowgule. And for girls, we have Satakshi. athlete. We have Pranav Goel. For girls, best athlete, Catherine. Now we have Sports Person of the Year, boys category, Vijit Yaraballi. And for girls, we have Krishna Dholakia. And we have all-rounder of the year, boys, Hamza. And for girls, we have all-round of the year, Percy Scott. Thank you. Keep playing, whether you win or lose, keep playing. Thank you.
All right, next we come to the most important everyday activity that the CRs perform. The contribution towards institutional building award for BSc 21-24 batch. It goes to Freya Shah, Samriddhi Khare, Ojas Mehrotra, Utkarsh Mishra, Priya, Samriddhi, Ojas, Utkarsh, 21-24 batch. Very good and cooperative CRs. Moving to batch 2023. The CRs are Khushi Sisodia. Khushi, are you there? Stuti Jha, Namah Singh, Nitesh Chauhan. Please come up. Batch 2023, clap for your CRs. For the passed out batch, that is 1922, the CRs were quite cooperative and helped us out, were Alifia, Samapika, Suramya Mishra, Udeti Abhiram, and Moitreya Banerjee. None of them are here, but all very, very congratulations to them. As ma'am has mentioned many times that we have had projects, research projects, and students have been quite helpful. and Nani to collect certificates for contributions in NABARD project and the PI process, please. Krisha, Vibhav and Khushi Sisodia. Dave, please collect the award for them. I hope Mansi is here. Give the bunch to Krisha. Krisha will collect on behalf of everyone. Yeah. Thank you, Krisha and Kushi. I would now request Mansi Patnaik, the passed out president, our ex-student council president, to collect the certificates for the passed out batch for student council. Mansi. Lovely seeing you again on the stage. Clap for the passed out council, guys.
Samarpan Cell member certificates, please. Last one here, we have Shivam Gupta to come and collect the certificates for placement cell members, please. Shivam Gupta. Shivam Gupta. Or can anybody from the current place
announce the most special award, the Director's Special Award. Okay, the Director's Special Recognition Award for BSc goes to Dhiman Jain. Dhimant is not here, but he's been helping the institution in many ways, apart from being the Streetlights head and EOTY head as well. Outstanding Student of the Year BSc goes to our ex-president, Ms. Mansi Patnaik. Thank you, students. I now call upon Dr. Barnani for announcing the award further.
Good evening, everyone. It's really a privilege for me to announce the awards for faculty and staff who has completed a decade or more.
1 minute, may I interrupt? Can you please close the doors, the Student Council? Student Council, please close the doors. Where are they? Please be seated, everybody. Thank you.
Yes, as I was saying, it's indeed a privilege for me to announce the awards for the faculty and staff who have completed 10 years of class with SSE and contributed immensely in building of SSE. To start with, Mr. Ravikant Joshi. Joshi sir, to resonate the words of our director ma'am, Mr. Ravikant Joshi is a walking, talking encyclopedia of urban finance in the country. His association at SSE has been since 2010 and 11. He's not only a guest lecturer, a visiting faculty, and a mentor to all the urban developers. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Joshi as Distinguished Senior Fellow in Symbiosis Center for Urban Studies. Please give a hand for him, everyone. Thank you so much. Now we have all-time favorite, Mr. Amir Sani, who has been with SSE since inception of SSE in 2008. He's a teacher for excellence and his feedback has been extremely good. May I request Sani sir to say a few words? Sani sir, would you like to say a few words?
Good evening, one and all. I was thinking of passing an entry for this award. The debit was okay, that is debit to award. But credit was much obvious, that is credit goes to all my past and present students. It is a great honor to receive big thank you to my family, Dr. Jyoti ma'am, my colleagues, all past and present students, entire SSE family. Thank you so much. I wish SSE a glorious future. Thank you.
Thank you, Sani sir. In line with Mr. Sani, we have Ms. Sushma Nayak, who has associated SSE since the inception. A perfect teacher with an excellent feedback from the students. Shushma ma'am, we want a few words from you too.
Thanks a lot for the love. It speaks volumes. I think it's easier to speak in the class than to speak over here. But anyways, I'm really grateful to Jyoti ma'am for all the support that she has been offering for the past 13 years that I've been associated with SSE. Love to my students. You are very special, each one of you. You are very dear, and let's look forward to making more economists in the future. Really proud of your achievements. Heartiest congratulations to all the winners, and I'm really proud of all of you who have made it till here. Thank you so much for all the love and support.
Thank you, ma'am. I must mention here that Mrs. Sani and Ms. Sushma ma'am has been director ma'am students in Symbiosis School of Arts and Commerce. Well, to go ahead, we have Dr. Ishita Ghosh, the pillar of strength behind the MSc program at SSE. Dr. Ishita has been helping the academics program at SSE evolve with its inputs from various multiple stakeholders. Thank you, Ishita. Now we have Mr. Krishnakant Roy. Roy sir is said to be a man full of ideas for SSE. Thank you, Roy sir. We have Ms. Dipashri Bhagwat, a lady who is known for her trust and honesty to the institute. Sorry. May we have Dipashri on the stage, please? We have now Ms. Sarika Hari. Though she looks tiny and frail, but she will stand bold and for any kind of situation. Now in the list we have Ms. Vaishali Chauhan. She is busy as a bee, but focused and strong with a very strong confidence in herself. Now we have Vijay Patil, we call him Vijay Bhaiya. He is known for the call of his duty, even when it means driving director ma'am late at home, late in the late hours. He is sincere, honest and very hardworking. Thank you everyone. And now we have Krisha here to say a few words to the students. Thank you ma'am. Thanks Sohini ma'am.
Hello, everybody. I know this has been a long event and a long wait, but this is an important day, and we just take this opportunity to officially announce Equilibria 2023, the annual fest of Symbiosis School of Economics. Of course, fest is a very important part, and it is going to add so much. We are going to have all sorts of fun events, all sorts of cultural events. And we plan to involve each one of you in the working of the fest to make it special for yourself and for everybody else who comes and joins us at the fest. So yeah, this is your invitation to be a part of Equilibria 2023 and make it a big, big success. And of course, I have my pillars here who would like to say some words about EQ.
Hey guys, nice to see you all here. And all of the SYs and TYs know what Equilibria was about last year. You know the energy that revolved around it, and you know the amount of work that went into making the event what it was. So you know what? Let's work to making this year's event even better, even more energetic, and let's work as a team for that. Thank you.
One of the first things that I saw when I came to college was Equilibria, and I promise you that it was worth it. Every single moment I spent in college at that point of time was worth it. And this year, we, the four of us, aim to do the same for FYs here. SYs and TYs, you know the process, you know it's going to be fun, just join in.
You all know what the basics are. Of a college fest, we need people to work. We need a team that will help us achieve the new marks that we have set for each and every one of us. So I am Samriddhi, this is Krisha, that's Catherine, that's Deva Shankar, and we will be your guys to just approach us whenever you want, and we'll help out in the fest, and hope you have a blast at the fest, and you all are a major part of it. So let's make it all a success. Thank you everyone, have a great day.
Everyone over here. Congratulations to all the winners, all the students, faculty, visiting faculty. Thank you so much for being associated with SSE. Thank you, Ravikant sir, Abhay sir, Sushma ma'am, all the faculty over here. Thanks, many thanks to Shohini ma'am for coming and accepting to grace this occasion of annual day. Thank you, Jyoti ma'am, for making us motivated each and every day to work harder for SSE. Thank you, Student Council, who has been really helpful. You're really enthusiastic. Big thumbs up to you. Thank you, IT team. Without them, nothing is possible, you know for sure. Thank you, coordinators. They are always supportive, very supportive. Thank you, all the OAs. Thank you, Bhaiyas. Thank you so much. Thank you, students. Thank you, our faculty, for sitting over here, being patient students. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening. Guys, can you please wait for... Okay. All right. From the back door, the students need to go out. Student Council, please see to it that there is no chaos. The faculty is requested to stay back and come near, gather near the common man statue for a group picture. Faculty and staff as well, please. Decorum while leaving the auditorium.